No, I was thinking
Echo Dot.
that could be like a solid play. If you merge the Stemplayer with Amazon Echo,
Exactly.
that could
be a bro. I would definitely.
Bro,
I would put my.
dog,
That's genius.
Dog.
That's genius.
That's fucking genius.
That's genius.
That's
right
$1 million play.
That
right
is
there.
$1 million play.
Just look at my stacking money till you get sky high.
Bro, like the level of self-belief, man.
Kids sing. If he was supposed to make it past 25, jokes on you, we still alive. Throw your hands up in the sky and say, we don't care what people say.
Bro, do you think we have a career in singing?
Hell no.
After that was our audition right there. We failed miserably.
Heavens no. Hello and welcome to the Hustle Over Everything podcast. This is the podcast where we receive stories, tips, and tactics from entrepreneurs who have done it. Today is a Wildcard episode. You know, we had to come through with a Wildcard episode twice in a row.
Exactly. We just had to go wild.
Don't kill me, bro. No, honestly, though, we have a lot to talk about. A lot has happened in the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
So we had to cover it real quick and just give y'all some more content about the trending topics of what's going on. As well, we have a lot of updates to talk about as well. So we just wanted to come and have a quick, conversation with y'all. So if you're not already, make sure you're following us on Instagram at 24/7 Hustler. And if you haven't already bought some merch, go do that. And
$100 cozy pack. It's still winter out here, so still stay warm. This is when Toronto and Canada, especially, it becomes brick weather.
Yep.
I was going out to Loblaws yesterday, and I was greeted with an unruly wind. I was like, "Rah!" Like, damn, that's freezing. And I thought I could just go out there with like my little light jacket, but I was in for a rude awakening. So, cozy pack, $100. Use the code Winter Hustle at checkout at hustleovereverything.co. You see the code there, and just copy and paste that and purchase it.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Any other housekeeping items? We should talk about our newest brand deal, bro.
Bro, just dap that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Guys, I was telling, maybe we can just go deep here a little bit just to start things off 2-3 minutes. But I was telling Alex, when you start this podcast and you're building a brand and you're putting out content, you're creating so much videos and pieces of audio for people to consume with the hopes of it turning into a business, it's sometimes hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And Alex and I have been on this journey together for now close to 2 years now. And we've just never missed a beat. We've never missed a day. We've had a collaboration with Bel Air. That was great. But now this is something that's extremely focused in the industry that we're targeting, which is e-commerce, business, using business solutions. And we got a brand deal with Flashbox. And this is, I'm just very proud of us, bro. I'm very proud. I see, it feels like the wheels are turning. It feels like the growth is starting to happen. We got believers and people who want to collaborate with us. And once with this taste of what is possible, it just makes you want to double down now. Like now you're like, okay, not that we were not Uplift Media Group, but like, we're actually Uplift Media Group now, right? We have clients, we have business, we have all these things coming our way now, and it's just a blessing. So from those humble beginnings and still being in humble beginnings, but seeing just the work that we're creating and the partnerships we're starting to develop, I'm just very excited for what's yet to come. But I still got my feet on the ground, taking it day by day and building on top of what we just built on yesterday, because that's how we got to this point, by building on top of the next thing, episode after episode, content, everything we've done together, man. So it's just like it's a big thing for me. How do you feel, man?
I feel good. I feel like there's something that we can actually help our entrepreneurs learn with. We've had a lot of people approach us. We have people that come with the Shopify apps and all sorts of things come with it. And this is not our first brand deal. We worked with Bel Air, ConvertKit, Sennheiser. You know what I'm saying? But this was like our first Toronto company to work with us.
Exactly.
And I'm really excited to work with Flashbox because they actually provide something that can really serve our e-commerce entrepreneurs. So if you are shipping to Toronto, Flashbox allows you to have $6 shipping in the GTA and outside of the GTA as well, to like Oshawa all the way to Oakville and Markham. Like, I don't know if people understand how
significant this is,
bruh. Like, as an e-commerce entrepreneur, you know, when it comes to shipping things, it can be a hassle to go from somewhere small as Oshawa. To ship like a sweater to Oshawa can cost like $15, bro.
It can make or break a shopping purchase decision.
Exactly, you know? Most definitely. So I was talking to Ken about it, Lignum, and shout out to Ken. He's going to be featured on our segment with Flashbox, and we should kind of go into the whole concept of what's going on. So once again, Flashbox, they give $6 per parcel delivery within the GTA. First things first. And we're working with them to not only spread the word, but to showcase other entrepreneurs who are doing amazing things in the city. So we're showcasing people like Lignum and other brands that are doing amazing things in the city. So I'm really excited about it. We're going to have an IG Live this Monday when this drops. So you should check us out on IG Live at 6:30 p.m. to talk about shipping throughout Toronto. We're going to just talk about the logistics of getting your package from once someone purchases it to getting it to them and getting that process continuously going. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a game to figure out how you can really scale something like that and do it at an effective rate. Because like Lignum, right? For example, if he's selling a pack of honey, Lignum Honey is a Jamaican honey brand. He sells raw honey. And the product costs $20 and shipping is $15. People are like, bro, that's like the cost of the whole honey.
Exactly. That's
like,
I'm paying for the 2 honeys, but I'm not getting another honey. I'm just getting this to transport it to my house.
Exactly. So it makes it a lot tougher just to get it in Toronto. So he was doing packages himself. If someone was buying it locally, he was actually going and driving locally person to person and dropping off deliveries. Now with Flashbox, it's $6. And once someone gets that $6 threshold, he's like, all right, bet. Flashbox comes to him, picks it up, and goes and delivers it. You know what I'm saying? That's a game changer for a small business.
Yeah.
So if you're in that situation where you're shipping products off, you got to get on Flashbox because it's really going to help your business out, you know? We only work with companies that we really believe in that can actually help you. At ConvertKit, they can actually help you have a great email list. Flashbox, that can help you with proper logistics. So with that being said, let's get into the topics, bro. Let's get into
what's hot. What's hot right now, man. So we got some couple things here for you, man. Couple things we want to get into. So kick us off, bro.
Bro, Full 93.5. Let's talk about that. And then we're going to talk about Randy's Patties. So Full 93.5 was arguably Toronto's main radio station for hip-hop and R&B. And now they have moved to G98.7, and both of those platforms barely have proper hosts now. Like, to put it into context, if you're not from Toronto, imagine Hot 97 buying Breakfast Club and neither of them having proper hosts.
And not having Charlemagne, not having a DJ Envy and Charlemagne the God. This is the Breakfast Club. Like, yo, you're not gonna be able to hear that anymore. No, so imagine that's been taken away.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. So no more YouTube videos, no more seeing Charlemagne asking if he can smell farts off the chair. Who did he ask out?
Everybody, J-Lo, Vivica Fox.
Yo, like, do you mind if I smell the fart off your chair, bro? I thought that guy was wild back in the day.
He was wild.
Like, back when he didn't use, like, his skin was still like kind of like dark on one part of his face. That's wild Charlemagne right there.
Where when he had the burnt toast on, you know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, he had this joke where he used to say like someone looked like he scraped the burnt off the toast.
Exactly,
you know
bro.
What I'm saying?
Man, it's funny. I love the way he can make fun of himself.
Facts.
You know.
Yeah. So so shout out to Peter Cash. You know what I'm saying? All the DJs that were on, Flow 93.5, because, it's a sad thing that was happening. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Blake Carter. Shout out to Gemini, Mark and Gem from G98.7. These were legends that we grew up on in the city. So it's sad to see them go. And we hope that they have other opportunities come about, Hopefully they have podcasts and other platforms. And honestly, bro, this is probably one of the biggest opportunities in Toronto to create a platform right now.
Bro, that's one of the questions I was going to ask you is with this happening right now, we're creators, we're creating a podcast here, we've established, but do you think someone who is popular in the city, we have guys we know of like Marlon, we have Alicia West, do you think they're seeing this as let's group them, those people with those type of personalities that we might not even know about, but they exist out there. There exists a lane now to create a brand new voice, because even though they've moved on, like this group from Flow 93.5, there's like now our generation now of like young cats, like 20s, 21 years old, to create a new voice now that we can grow up with. What do you think about that? Like the light in the tunnel with that?
So it's a mixed bag, because the question is, are the youth really listening to radio like that? And do they have the relationship with the advertisers to build a platform like that on the radio, if radio is even the platform? Because a lot of us aren't even really listening to radio like that anymore.
We're not driving whips to listen to the radio.
We're not driving whips. And if you are in a whip, then we listen to Spotify. You know what I'm saying?
Or podcasts.
Or podcasts. You know what I'm saying? So Spotify and Apple Music are having like a concerted effort to kill radio. It's just a fact. So it's like, is trying to get youth into the radio stations and the move even, you know, but let's be real. The older generations are still listening to the radio, but are the younger generations listening like that? I'm not sure. People are still tuning in. Like, people are still tuning in. Like, hey, I thought 90.5 was like rap. Like, how come it's country now? So people are still tuning in, but is that the rate that warrants advertisers to come flooding in? Honestly, what I think is the opportunity here is to have a mixed use. Like, Charlemagne isn't just a radio host now, and Breakfast Club isn't just a radio show. It's a radio show. It's a podcast. It's a YouTube channel. It's a mixed bag of content.
They're bringing everything, all the platforms together. So like, if you're not here, you can get us here. You can get us there. Exactly.
And then the advertisers can work because they can have mixed placements that they can advertise on. But I don't know if G98 or Flow 98 now is having that perspective of, let's have a mixed content piece. Like, even Much is on TikTok now, and they're having deals with TikTok. You get what I'm saying? So that could be the lane, possibly, but I don't know if that's the actual route they're gonna take. You know what I'm saying? So
scroll up a little bit. There's some things there.
Up or down?
So where they were controversial. So like, some people are commenting online that this effectively merges two radio stations focused on Toronto's Black community to one, and effectively scrubs more Caribbean music from the airwaves. Essentially, right?
Yep.
So the issue here is the fabric of the city, of what people are used to, like something that some communities can call, this is ours, this is something I can rely on, is no longer there. So you have legacy people who've been listening to this, moms, kids who grew up to have their own kids, who are taking them to daycare. Now they're hearing something else completely, what they've been listening to. And as well too, the sound is different. Like, I never really got a chance to listen to 93.5, like perhaps the way you did, because you grew up in Toronto longer than me, like in your youth and into your adult years. But from the moments I did hear, and from like what I saw some clips on Twitter, completely different sound, right? It's just like the new sound of the merged stations now is a lot more muffled and everything. So it's like they merged it together, but they're not really doing the service it deserves for the audience that they used to serve, right? So that's one thing. And that's happening. And like, the another thing that's being mentioned is the hypocrisy of this happening during Black History Month. You know,
it's a smack in the face.
It's a
smack in the face to the Black community as well. It's alienating a ton of audience listeners. Like, they used to have a ton of soca, a ton of dance hall, a ton of, you know, reggae, but now it's just a hodgepodge of everything, and it's all like the top level. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a hodgepodge of only the top level music. It's nothing that actually is deeper that people actually want to hear. It's like saying we're gonna play dancehall music and only playing Sean Paul. You know what I'm saying?
Just give me the light, girl, come on. What are the lyrics to that song, bro?
Just give me the light and pass the draw.
Yo, once you hear that song coming out in a jam, bro,
it was a rap. As a kid.
That's the moment. Like, you're not even sipping beer, you're spilling beer on your face,
as you dance with a team.
Exactly, bro.
Most definitely
catching a bubble, you know.
Most definitely. And speaking of podcasts and radio, Spotify is coming for it. You know what I'm saying?
Coming
for radio, bro. Because bro, Spotify just did three actually big things. So Spotify just dropped the information that they have now acquired pod sites and Chartable.
Oh my God.
Two big things. And they also just they dropped this thing called Car Thing. Literally a hardware device for cars to replace your car device.
It's kind of like when I was telling you earlier, this is like what my uncles back home used to do. It's like, people actually used to go peep in people's cars to steal their, like, you know, remember those radio stations you clip onto your thing? And as a kid, I used to go out there and I used to see like, oh, I can tell how much money you're making by like the way your radio system looks in your whip, right? It was like a sign of wealth. And some people had little mini TVs. They can watch the Premier League as they're driving like in the Nairobi streets, man. But I didn't even think this type of platform would make a comeback, because every car is equipped with like a proper system where you can play music. It's like a smart radio station in a car now. Like, it's a standard now. So do you feel like, does it even make sense to have like that type of platform in a car when you can easily access Spotify
on your phone?
On your phone, and some cars are built in with a Spotify app.
Yeah, honestly,
it seems redundant a little bit.
It seems redundant, and it doesn't have GPS, which is huge.
Do you need GPS for a car?
Of course.
How so, bro?
You need GPS for your car, bro.
No. Like a car thing. Like, why do you need GPS for a player?
Well, you know what it is that once you use your phone, you can have GPS and your music together. So you can have music playing, and then if you need to get somewhere, you can just have the GPS going same time. But if you're using the car thing, you're just locked out. You have to like go between the two of them. Go
between the things, between two platforms.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit redundant on that. At least add a little bit more versatility on the thing.
So you can go between car thing and the GPS. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
What if like the track can actually say, you're listening to Sean Paul, give me a ride, and then Sean Paul says, now take a ride and go left. Oh, merge in the 401.
Don't kill me.
Just merge the Don Valley Parkway. Get it. Yeah, that'd be dope. Imagine if they can program like the lyrics into the directions.
Who do you think would be a great host
on what?
For GPS singles?
Man, you need like a proper voice for that. Man, I'd like to listen. I'm an old school guy, like by nature.
Okay.
I like Barry White to
Barry White.
That Turn right. All right. Now we go over here. or like Lou Rawls, right? You know Lou Rawls? He was You'll never find.
Oh yeah, that's Lou Rawls.
That's Lou Rawls, right? Mm-hmm. Bro, that was one of my favorite. Another love like. So that his deep, rich voice. Him, Barry White, Lou Rawls, I'd love to have them as a GPS host.
Yeah.
Or even like maybe if we're sticking to artists, I'll stick to him. But Morgan Freeman is another one.
Turn right, please.
Turn right, please. Like, sounds like God talking to you.
Word. What if you had a Gary V?
Gary.
Turn right. Turn right with your perspective.
Have some empathy for the person beside you. You know. Man, Gary Vee would be cheesing me off, bro. I want a road rage. Road rage on people, bro.
Oh my God. You have so much time. Turn right.
Turn right. You know, stop. You gotta be patient. You don't try to beat the red light. Just be patient.
All right.
But who would you have? Like, if we're talking about
who would I have? Artist wise?
Littles, bro. Add the Littles in there, man. Just group them.
Nah, I wouldn't group them. I think who would be a great... I would love Birdman to be my GPS navigation.
Start with straight shots and then pop bottles. Man, I miss Birdman, bro. I remember every time I used to walk home from practice, I'd be thinking about like the walk, but then I just think about, I have my iPod with me and I just think of start with straight shots. I used to play that track all the time, bro.
Start with straight shots and then pop bottles.
Pour it on the models. Make the swallow.
If she don't swallow, shut up, bitch. Goggle. Straight up, with my mark, goggles. Word.
Birdman.
All right, let's keep it pushing. So that was the big thing. But one thing that's been huge in the community right now is Randy's Patties. You know what I'm saying? This was huge, you know.
I read this story. There's a couple of things I want to bring up to you, but have you been to Randy's Patties?
Hell yeah.
How many times have you been to Randy's Patties?
Bro, my barbershop used to be next to Randy's Patties before I realized how dirty he was. So
who was dirty?
My barber. The
barber. He was a dirtier guy.
He was, bro.
Like, he didn't wash his hands, or like he didn't clean his clippers. Like
he didn't use alcohol.
Oh shit! You know, so you got bumps.
So I did get bumps. And bro, I'll never forget this.
You had a motherfucking crunch bar.
I had a crunch bar on my facts. And bro, so I went to the barber for the first time in a minute, and the first time I went out, and I saw the alcohol level was like a quarter done. No, a quarter like left in the alcohol. I came back the next time, It was the same
Same
quarter.
thing.
And I'm like, bro.
And this is a 2 weeks,
2-week time period, bro.
2 cuts a month, right? Standard,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm like, bro, 2 weeks and the alcohol is still the same level? What is going on?
So did you question him? Did you have the balls to say like, yo, Wagwan with
So
the alcohol
first I asked him, yo, can I have small con? He's like, oh yeah, sure. And it was asking like, oh, you want alcohol? Like it was
is it like when you're asking the McDonald's cashier for more mac sauce? It seems as if it affects their freaking pay.
Right.
I'm like, bro,
bro,
this is $1
billion
billion corp, bro. Like, you're still gonna get your same wage, but just give me the mac sauce.
Bro, if your barber is stingy with the alcohol, that is a red flag.
That shows you the barber
like a waving red flag. You know what I'm saying?
They're short on supply.
Exactly. And that's what made me kind of move off of him. So, but after I would have hit that barber shop on the West Egg, then I would go to Randy's Patties.
Randy's Patties for a little snackery.
Of course.
So what made this, for people who are listening, because it's been reported now like Drake wants to purchase this spot.
Yeah. T-Rex.
There's a lot of broken hearts. And I think it's because it's a very sentimental part of people's childhoods and people's come up. And it also represents a legacy business in the city. It's like a part of the fabric of the city, especially in culture, where certain landmarks, it's as if like the CN Tower of that area has been taken down because people used to go there. They have memories there and etc. So like, do you know much about the owners?
I don't know much about the owners, to keep it a buck, but I see it as another casualty of this like bootleg, let's call it what it is, like almost like a forced gentrification of the area.
Yeah.
You know, there's been construction going on for years and years and years that's been affecting the traffic going to those places. On top of that, the owners have, you know, been struggling to have supply come in and someone to succeed or be like the successor of the ownership of the business. So there's a lot of struggles going on there. And it's unfortunate to see this because it looks like they are doing whatever they can to get these people out of West Egg so they can try to, you know, gentrify it. And
like, how many more Starbucks do we need? How many more Chipotles do we need, man?
Probably gonna put up condos, honestly.
But yeah, but even condos, man. Like, do we need more? Like, we need.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, the places. Everyone's moving into the city, man. Yeah. Like, I see why we need housing, but we still need cultural landmarks. You know, I was learning when I did law back in university. I took a law class. There's certain rules when you're building out certain infrastructures in certain areas where you can't build on top of that because it has cultural significance. And what I'm noticing is that a lot of Black neighborhoods, even though they have cultural significance, they still don't really pay the respect it deserves as they would on certain major landmarks, which you can find here. I live here in St. Lawrence Market, like Old Toronto, right? You have certain landmark churches and etc., but they get the respect because, hey, this is like the Discovery District. They have this, and you can still see that richness of it. The Black community has that as well. There's certain businesses, there's certain areas, and they might look very rugged, but that's what makes it unique and stand out. We don't need everything to be cookie cutter, right? We don't need everything to be polished, right? Sometimes you want to like go in that barbershop and just see its unique style to it. It's similar to destroying brownstones in New York.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it. Even though the brownstone is a legacy type of home from like the 1930s and onward, the richness of it, the fabric of it, it's what makes New York, New York. And these patty stores, barbershops, stores that belong in the Black community, that neighborhood, you can feel the richness and the Blackness of it when you come in. It has its own distinct thing. The same way you can go to Chinatown. You're not going to go mess up Chinatown and like tell them, hey, make this more Canadianized and everything and have your business just like exist with like the name of it, not having a Chinese to it. You go to Greektown, right? They have their own thing going on there. You go to Little Portugal. They have their own neighborhood there. But areas where a lot of Black communities exist in, they're just the first ones to always get the boot out or be, not even boot, but wedged out.
Yeah, they're trying to rename it now from Eglinton West to Cedarvale. You know,
Cedarville.
Yeah, like.
But does that Cedarville already exist? Like,
I think that's what they're trying to name the TTC station, and they're gonna try and name like that whole space from Eglinton West to Cedarville. But I could have sworn that somebody or Eglinton West had become like a cultural landmark. But I'm not sure. I thought I heard like whispers or like a news story of that being a thing where Eglinton West became a landmark, so you can't destroy it or something like that. I can't seem to find it.
This Eglinton West stuff has been going on for way too long. First, we had Union Station. Union Station, I remember my brother used to work for Emirates, and he used to fly in with the cabin crew.
Mm-hmm.
And this is back in 2014. Every time we used to go, and they used to say at the Royal York Hotel, every time he'd come to Toronto, same ass things. Like, bruv, like, have these guys not lifted a forklift or anything to finish this whole thing? And I think at the time, like, the Pan Am Games was coming to the city, so that's what really made it wrap up extra fast, because they needed the infrastructure to be right. So imagine that Union Station, that whole area. It took them ever since I joined Ryerson till maybe 2018. They were done construction in that spot. Now Eglinton West, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm always dodging potholes. I'm like dodging whips. I'm like, is this closed? Is this open? If I know I'm going there, I have to leave extra early just so I don't have any hiccups, because I don't know what I'm gonna be met with. Maybe the TTC stops at one station. You gotta hop into a bus. You know, you gotta call an audible.
Facts, bro.
So last question on this, bro.
What's up?
How do you think this affects the landscape of iconic Black businesses in the GTA?
How do I think this affects Black business in GTA? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think. Honestly, it's just gonna be like something to remorse. Like, oh, you know, it sucks that this is, you know, it's found its demise. It's ending. It's closing down. But I still think there's other opportunities for Black business in Toronto. I think the greater question is like, what resources could or should have been there for him? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? How could he have found a successor? How could he have tried to find issues to solve supply chain issues? Like, what resources should have been there for him to continue the business? I think that's like the bigger question we have to ask is, like, why is this happening? Like, what could he have done so this didn't have to get here? Mm-hmm. You know, like he needs that guy. Do you watch The Chi at all?
The what?
The Chi.
What's The Chi?
The Chi is a show on I can't remember what network it's on, but yeah, even in The Chi there was an episode where one of Jacob Lattimore's character gets to be the successor of a local shop, and it's just like one of those things where that's something that we need is to have like succession. So there should be like a way of introducing youth to local businesses that are currently running, so they can become the successors of that and put their own spin on it as well. So, you know, I don't know. It's just sad. RIP. I'll see if I can go there today. Today's the last day. You know, so by the time you're hearing this, of course it's gonna be a lineup. But I'm probably gonna try and go there and grab a
culture, bro.
Yeah, of course, bro. And they're good patties.
Yeah,
they're amazing patties.
Yo, can you bring me one, please?
For sure. Say tonight, less, bro. Say less. Yeah. I got you. You want to swing the? I think it's like $25. Swing. It's a box of patties.
It's a box.
It's for a dozen patties.
All right. So tonight, like, come to Carlton's house.
All right.
You and Kristen. Bring the box. I'll leave it in Carlton's fridge.
Bet.
And then boom, I'll swing you the cashish.
Bet. Say less. All right, but speaking of cash, bruh, someone who just
cash rules everything around me.
Someone who just made some cash real quick, about $1 million off his cash, is Kanye from the Stemplayer, dog.
The Stemmy, man. Bro, I love Kanye. There's so many things going on with this guy right now, bro. Mm-hmm. Genius. We're going to get into that, but the Stemplayer, bro. What is the Stemplayer?
Stemplayer is a music device that Kanye just dropped. And honestly, it's very interesting because what it does is allow you to separate the stems of music, right? And honestly, it's like a small speaker, and it's a bit gimmicky, but it's very interesting to see this play out when it comes to Kanye having a way of distributing music to net new people or his own fan base, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I think is dope about it, is the fact that he's, you know, going around the streaming platforms and directly going straight to the customer. But it costs $200 though.
Yeah.
Would you buy it?
Just to listen to Donda 2?
Yeah, and use a Stemplayer.
$2 bills.
$2 bills.
And I know it's not going to be on Apple or Spotify.
Probably not. It'll probably go on later. I don't know. I have no idea, but probably not.
$200.
200.
I don't think I'll buy it right away.
All right. What would you wait on? What would be the things that would convince you?
I'll need to know like what are the things it can do to really add value to my life. Like just so I can listen to Kanye's album. Like that is like, think about it like how we listen to music.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to go to the gym. I listen to it while I work out. I listen when I'm on road to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
I can't carry a Stemplayer with me all the time. So I need a multi-purpose for it. And at the same time, I have an Amazon Echo.
No, I was thinking
Echo Dot.
That could be like a solid play. If you merge the Stemplayer with Amazon Echo.
Exactly.
That could
be bro, I would definitely.
Bro.
I would put my.
That's
genius.
That's genius. That's fucking genius.
That's genius.
That's
right
$1 million
there.
play.
That
right
is
there.
$1 million play.
Oh shit.
So it's like, yo, we can let you license the Stemplayer and you, well, whatever the deal works, but like a licensing deal, like, hey, Amazon take the Stemplayer, add Echo Amazon Alexa to it, and
then release music through the Amazon app.
Exactly, bro. We're like, man,
Dog,
why are we not in these boardrooms, bro? What are we doing here at in the six, man? At Jarvis.
You know what I'm saying? Bro, please stop giving your location out. Dog.
I said Jarvis. We could be on road. We could be in a shack.
All right, man.
It's an area.
All right.
Whoever wants to come after me, come after me.
I'm still beeping it out. All right. But I think it's very interesting. It's actually 2.2 million that he made off of it, selling about 10,000 Stemplayers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a solid deal, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is this that like how many recurring people will do it? I think the game is getting into people's house and then seeing if you can have something on it. It has an aux cord on it, which is cool, but it's not like a speaker like an Amazon Echo. If you can get it to a point though, like we were saying, I think that could be a really smart business move. The thing is, it would be a lot more competitive for the Apples and Spotify's. But you never know, dog.
And over here, they're saying 2.2 million. So more than 500 million streams were generated on conventional streaming platforms. So this is the CEO of Kano Computing. And you're saying, consumers want to support their favorite artists and get the work in the way that the artist wants to present it, rather than the way these tech conglomerates want to represent it. So this is CEO Klein. His name's Klein. Scroll down a little bit. So advantage of this is to allow the artist to pocket the majority of the revenue selling these products direct to consumer. It lets the rap star own the customer data outright, something virtually every tech and media company is focused on. So a lot of these guys are making music. You're coming up, but you don't really own the data. And Ryan Leslie was a pioneer in this. When he started this conversation back in 2015, people were looking at him like, yo, you're crazy. It was so, people saw the vision, but I don't think anybody thought it was going to take off, because you need infrastructure to really get your music out there. Like, you need to be supported by all these other platforms. So why am I going to go to these other companies when I'm just starting out? Why am I going to focus on me? It's kind of like what LeVar Ball was trying to do with his sons, starting big baller brands. Like, why are you going to go sign to Nike and Adidas? We can actually create our own company. And LeVar knew these sons are going to be stars. Like, look at LaMelo now, bro.
He's a star.
Superstar. All-star game at just 20 years old. The guy, he's a magician on the court, showman. And LeVar knew this from time. He even said, LaMelo is going to be the best ball brother out of all three of my sons. Way before, when LaMelo was a little tiny kid. We all saw this. I've seen LaMelo grow up. I'm like a dad watching this guy come into the league, bro. It's like when you watch, I wouldn't call him my son, but let's say I'm an uncle. I was like, wow, look at you've grown tall, man. You're flourishing.
Don't kill me.
When your uncle sees you and he's just like, yo, you've grown tall. And I'm like, bro, man. I'm 25 now. There's no way I've grown tall. Like, it's such an uncle thing to do.
Yeah.
But imagine if LaMelo stuck to the guns and saw the vision LeVar had of, hey, people, you drop LaMelo merch, you drop a LaMelo sneaker, they're coming to big baller brand to buy your pair of kicks. That's how you create legacy. That's how you create generational wealth, and you build your own brand. But these Pumas and Adidas's and Nikes is like, yo, we'll give you 100 million. But what's 100 million now? Like present value. Why don't you just take $1 billion later on that you own outright 100% overall?
Delayed gratification,
right? You got to see the vision of that. And that's why Kanye, he's like, man, I have the power here. You need me more than I need you. Like 100 million, I can keep this Stemplayer. Once my $100 million contract is done, okay, boom, it's over. But I'm thinking 40, 30 years from now, owning a tech company that owns data, that can sell that data again and again. This isn't about the Stemplayer. This is about the ownership of certain data of my customers that are Kanye West customers that you need. And me being a star, you can't access that because you're not, no disrespect to any other smaller artists, but if I'm Kanye West, it's like I bring more value to the platform. If Apple is offering $100 million, bro, how much do you think they're making off that 100 million?
Right? Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
They're making like maybe $2 billion, $3 billion in future value.
Yeah, and it's the branding, right, of having Apple Music aligned with Yeezy. You know that they get the playing it on likeness. So where would you go if you were Kanye West? You know, I have a few ideas of how I would take it. How would you try and scale
in terms of like going in what when you say
Stemplayer? How would you try and grow the business of Stemplayer? If I was you, like, what would you predict Kanye doing with Stemplayer?
What do I predict?
Yeah,
I think knowing what Kanye is about, I think the Stemplayer is an introduction to another future line of products that he's going to be releasing.
Yep.
So I think this is more of what you see with the iPhone. Let's say back in 2007. It's just like a entrance into the market that it's going to allow you to build other future devices, which are tied into like the Donda brand, which bring in the Yeezy, which bring on every other platform. It's going to be an immersive hub of Kanye and Donda products all in one. So I won't be surprised if we have a Donda TV, a Donda home, a Donda whatever, and it's all tied in together with his other future movies, creations.
Movies. You think probably drop movies? You think?
Man, if he can drop a Genius, don't you think he'll drop that exclusively through his own platforms?
Probably.
Right? Yeah. Hey, you want to watch these music videos? Get it over the Stemplayer. So like now he's like, and then he's gonna take what Jay-Z tried to do with Tidal, but he's gonna do it even bigger. Right? Tidal was just a music streaming platform, but now it's gonna be like, now you can come on and you can create major. I see what he's trying to do with Stem, like the whole brand, with what Apple is trying to do with like, what I'm trying to say, the software and the hardware at the same time. Okay. But now it's more immersive for more of like an entertainment system that's integrated with culture and innovation and certain things that we all enjoy. And we can access it through the Stem only. And I won't be surprised, bro, if we end up paying for this shit 2-3 years down the line.
You got you. So you think it's an introduction to an ecosystem?
Ecosystem.
Got you.
And I think Kanye's going to move away from music and he's going to try and create like an Apple type of company.
I mean, he's saying he's the next Steve Jobs. So
I don't doubt him.
So that's one thing you clearly can't knock Kanye
He's Walt Disney.
Yeah.
What do you think? I want to hear, because I know you have some bars you're ready to spit on this.
I think he might be take a licensing route. You know, I think an ecosystem is a good idea because he's saying this is easy tech, right? So he's definitely trying to build an ecosystem out. This is how the ecosystem lives is going to be the thing. Like, is he trying to build it out to sell it maybe, or to use it as his own ecosystem to drop music or drop content specifically? We don't know. I was thinking if you could license it out, like if Drake has a Stemplayer, if Lil Baby has a Stemplayer, if DaBaby has a Stemplayer, if you know what I'm saying. So then people could just have their own Stemplayer to drop exclusives on,
like a Drake Stemplayer.
Yeah.
So he's essentially starting like a tree, and then all the artists control their own destiny with Stem.
Exactly, with the Stemplayer.
So you're owning like maybe 95% of your revenue, and Kanye just takes like a cut of it instead of going to Spotify, them taking and then giving you a couple cents per stream.
Exactly. But the only thing is that like, it's gonna be redundant. That's the only thing. Like I'm gonna have to buy a Kanye Stemplayer, then a Drake Stemplayer. Then it's gonna be a lot of Stemplayers floating around the house. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what is the real route? I'm not sure, honestly. I think your lane of ecosystem is the right like move. Is that he's gonna try to create an ecosystem so people will listen to it on the Stemplayer, and probably sell the Stemplayers out of Gap, you know, and then like probably have something to immerse them in a Gap store, so people will like have to go to Gap to get a Stemplayer and like experience something, and then
you even think the metaverse plays into the stem, bro. Like I think he's gonna try.
Interesting. You think the metaverse will make a thing into it? All
yeah,
right,
man. I think he is. I feel like this is just like the tip of the iceberg, bro.
Yeah.
There's so much deeper into this that we haven't even seen yet. That we're gonna adopt this by like just the way of living. The same way that you get forced into buying new tech. Like, hey, you can't use a flip phone anymore. So I think Spotify and these streaming platforms are going to be the next flip phones, and we're going to be migrating into these devices to support artists. Because as soon as artists realize that they have the power, it's a wrap. You know, as soon as artists realize, man, I can make my own money, my revenue, if I have Kanye status, yeah. And as soon as those type of guys realize that, now you have a platform of like, you know, artists, but it's not really as big of a business as you need the Drakes who bring in 11 million listeners a month, the Jay-Z's, the Kanye's, the whatever. Soon as artists realize that, platforms such as Spotify for music become like archaic, and now artists have their own lane. So now I have to tap into Kanye, Drake, and whatever to listen to them.
Honestly, I'm wondering how much Spotify is concerned about music versus the podcast lane. You know, because it looks like they're putting a lot of focus in seeing what Joe Budden was saying, like, hey, we're changing the business model of Spotify. And I was like, what does he mean by that? Now we're seeing it play out of like them acquiring Anchor and all
Chartable
these
pod sites.
And all these things come together where they can be like, all right, now we're having a whole ecosystem for podcasts. So if I want to create a podcast now, I'm probably going to go with Spotify and Anchor, then Apple, whatever. Apple doesn't even have anything for podcasts besides the podcast player on the app device, like on the app itself. But in terms of like creating a podcast, you're probably going to go to Anchor because you can drop the video and the audio at the same time.
And you get the data, the insights, and everything that you need to know how your podcast is performing from Spotify.
And if I was Spotify, you know what they're probably going to do? They're probably going to like mess up the podcast data from Apple. Because Chartable is one of the mode of truth for a lot of podcast people. They're like, oh, I don't really trust most things besides pod sites and Chartable. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So
Apple Analytics it's not as polished as you think it would be.
Yeah,
as a major pioneer in podcasting, because they started podcasting.
They started,
but they've just kind of let the ball drop, and now they're playing catch up.
Yeah, well, speaking of playing catch up, bro, the world's playing catch up to Russia right now.
Russia and Ukraine, man. To be transparent here, like we're learning about this as the days go by. So
we're not journalists. We ain't the news source. We're not Brandon Gomez. Shout out to Brandon.
He's a great reporter. You know, he has a deeper context. But what we did here is we just laid down a couple things. If you're new to this and you want to know like what's going on in a couple bullet points, you know, I found some information online from a reputable source on BBC.com that broke it down where we can explain it here. So number one, to give you a timeline of what was happening. So they're saying, you know, while there had been tensions between Russia and Ukraine, a former Soviet Union republic for a long time, the situation began getting out of control in early 2021. In January last year, Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky urged U.S. President Joe Biden to let Ukraine join NATO. So what happened next is this angered Russia, which started sending troops near its Ukraine border for training exercises, quote unquote, in spring last year and increased during autumn. By December, the U.S. began hyping up the deployment of the Russian troops, and President Biden warned of severe sanction if Russia invaded Ukraine. Russia has demanded that the West gives a legal binding guarantee that NATO will not hold any military activity in Eastern Europe and Ukraine. Vladimir Putin claims Ukraine is a puppet of the West and was never a proper state anyway. So this is not the first time tensions between Russia and Ukraine has reached a boiling point. Russia had invaded Ukraine in 2014 when rebels backed by President Putin had seized large swaths of eastern Ukraine and have fought Ukraine's army since then. At that time, Russia had annexed Crimea. As a former Soviet Union republic, as a former Soviet republic, Ukraine has deep social and cultural ties with Russia. Russian is widely spoken there. But ever since Russia invaded in 2014, those relations have frayed. Russia attacked Ukraine when its pro-Russian president was deposed in early 2014. The war in the East has since claimed more than 14,000 lives. Russia and Ukraine had signed the Minsk peace accord to halt the armed conflict in East Ukraine, including the Donbas region. But as the conflict has continued, Russia says it's sending quote-unquote peacekeepers to the region where the conflict is brewing. The West calls it a smokescreen by Moscow to occupy the sovereign territory. The new tension between Russia and Ukraine, which also borders the European Union, has repercussions for the EU. And that's why the EU, most of who are NATO signatories, have joined the US in announcing sanctions against Russian entities. Just weeks ago, French President Emmanuel Macron flew to Moscow to talk to President Putin to reduce tensions. And India has called for a diplomatic way out of the current crisis between Russia and Ukraine. So essentially, what's going on is
there's a lot.
A lot. So Ukraine wants to join the NATO, wants to join NATO. Vladimir Putin, essentially, he wants to keep Ukraine as a part of like Russia, as like an extension of Russia. Mm-hmm. And what this means is like if he allows Ukraine to join NATO, essentially what that does, it erases everything Russia ever did for Ukraine.
I think it's that, and it makes Russia more vulnerable.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's like, nah, I'm not letting this happen. I'm going to go attack Ukraine until you guys do not let Ukraine join NATO.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like an ego play here because he doesn't want to be left like vulnerable by everybody else. So now what's going on is it's like world war. There's like a war happening, bro. And it's crazy, bro. We're here podcasting and there's a war happening across the world. Yeah. Like, just take that in.
It's absolutely insane.
There's guys who are like just chilling today. Now they're suited and booted, ready to go fight in the trenches.
The men there, like literally a year ago, a guy was just at home chilling, married, going to work and coming home. Right now, he's like, I cannot leave this country.
I can't leave this country.
I have to go pick up a gun and go fight for my country.
Fight for my country, bro. Imagine being a youth there. Like, you're just being drafted.
18.
Like, you're being called to duty.
Bro, you just graduated high school. And you're like, yo,
and you had
think
dreams
about
of coming
college.
to America, like to the States, come to school. Maybe even you're a hooper now.
Yeah, you want to be a hooper. You had dreams in life.
You had dreams. Now you gotta go fight. You gotta fight for your sovereignty, pretty much.
Yeah. At the same time, it's like you feel your country getting bullied by a whole other country. So he's like, yo, I gotta stand up and fight for my country.
Man, there was some clips online of a guy who is like a businessman. He's just like exactly what you're saying right now. Had to drop everything, pick up a suit, pick up some guns, and he's out there fighting for Ukraine, man.
Wow. I can't imagine. I can't imagine this like Canada being at war and then instantly like, all right, time. It's also like a hard switch of lifestyle. Like how prepped do you get to be? You don't even get to really prep and be like, all right, I'm about to go to war. Like people are just kind of.
How do you stay hot and ready, man?
Yeah, like for me personally, I'm someone that needs to change my mind to get something. Like, all right, I'm gonna clean my house today. Today I'm gonna clean my house. You know what I'm saying? To just wake up and be all right. Today I'm gonna go to war.
There's a certain psychological state you need to get
in. Exactly. Like I'm gonna go kill people, bro.
You just can't come in like, yo, I just did like a consulting gig. All right, time to go to war. Like, how do you rev yourself up for that type of state, bro?
Bruh.
I mean, man, I feel so bad because, sometimes when you talk about these certain topics, and this is like the kind of culture we're in, it's like not everybody is giving their takes about Russia and Ukraine. But I'm like, bro, and this is not me dissing you. It's more of like some people in regards to this matter, just need to stay away from it, because people are giving a lot of takes that they shouldn't even be giving these takes, because I'm like, man, like you're not making any sense right now. Like, I think we're living in this take society now, like where everyone's like fighting for retweets and likes and everything by showcasing their outrage over what's happening right now. Yes, you can give your outrage, but sometimes you can just tell, like, hey, bro, are you really, like, you weren't even talking about this at all.
It's performative.
It's performative, bro. And that's what I'm finding a lot, especially on LinkedIn, man.
That's a fact. Are you seeing the girls that are making letters about what they do if they're Putin's mom or something like that?
Bruh.
Oh my
There's
Lord.
a viral video of this one blonde chick. Have you seen that one? It was like a poem to Putin.
A poem to Putin.
It was man, I think the Abba and Preach did a a video about it.
I'm going to search this right now. Jamie, can you look that up for us, please?
Hey, Alex, can you bring that up?
Yeah, it came right up. Oh, yeah. This is giving performative. And speaking of performative, bro, what do you think about LCBO?
Bro, man, I'm tired of this woke shit, bro. Like, get the hell out of here. Stop it. Stop it. Like, let me composure, bro.
No, let be free.
Bro, like, how is Russian vodka, like, how is Russian vodka impacting, like,
the war?
Oh, yo, I saw Doug Ford mention this shit, and I was so cheesed, bro. I was like, why are you doing that? What's that gonna do? There's Russian folks out there who work hard, who have businesses, have nothing to do with this. Yeah. And now you're penalizing them for their products just because it's Russian. There's Russian folks who exist in this country who make Russian vodka in Canada, and now you're taking away their business. Why don't we just stick to politics and why do we need to go these extreme lengths to show that we have solidarity? It doesn't need to be like that.
Yeah, it's like you've been working in Canada for years selling Russian beer or Russian vodka. You wake up one morning and next thing like, hey, we've stopped your account because of what's going on over. Like, how does that? What does that have to do with me?
Yeah,
you know, I get it.
Bro, this woke culture, bro, it's really pissing me off, man.
Yeah, you know what? I get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand because, you know, if Vladimir Putin wakes up and turns on TV and sees that LCBO has stopped selling Russian vodka, he's going to flip his shit. He's going to be like, yo, we can't afford to lose that LCBO revenue. We got to stop. We got to pull back and stop all efforts because we can't lose LCBO revenue.
Like, oh my God, like
you know what I'm saying?
Those LCBOs have stopped selling Russian vodka. Okay, let's not attack, guys.
Let's not attack, you know. NATO.
Yeah,
who cares about vodka? Listen, I don't really care about NATO, but LCBO?
LCBO?
Oh my jeez.
All right, guys, hold your horses.
Hold your horses. Yo, saddle up, let's go.
Home. For vodka? Are you serious, dude? Like, really?
Yeah, but what it is, you know, it's just that it's energy. You know, we're seeing this and we're outraged as this is happening. It's
fake, as Lil Duval said. What are y'all fake caring about today?
Yeah. No, it's not fake caring. It's real caring, but they just don't know how to deal with it. They don't know where to place the energy because everyone's outraged and they don't know how to deal with that energy. That's why everyone's protesting right now. You know, there's a lot throughout Toronto that everybody's protesting about the war. But like, and it's sad because I wish it could affect real change. Like, I wish like Russian oligarchs would see that and be like, "Yo, Toronto's protesting. Let's scale back. Like, let's start, you know, putting pressure on Putin because Toronto's protesting." You know, but and also though I've been thinking about this deeply. Like, maybe there is a water droplet theory that could possibly be affected where they're seeing global impact. So one person's, you know, individual protest, like, combined with the entire world, each person's protest combined can start putting pressure on something like a Russian oligarch or a Putin regime. But the odds of that really happening, I'm not sure. Like he's getting sanctions across his country. Like I think he's understanding the risk that it's taking, and the political pressure globally might not affect him. You know, I was listening to Cenk Uygur, and he was kind of breaking down his perspective of what he thinks Putin's gamble is. This fact that, you know, Russia supplies 40%. This is what he says, so don't take my word for it. This is what Cenk says, and I'm paraphrasing here, of course, off the top of my head. That Russia supplies 40% of the oil to Europe. So a lot of people aren't going to want to go against that, because that can cut off their country if the oil stops, for one. And two, they have nukes. So they have like weapons of literal mass destruction. Not what they were talking about in Afghanistan, or what they were talking about in Afghanistan. And he has two power plays, those two in his hand. So people are not going to mess with him because of that. And he has nukes. So if anyone wants to pull up, he can make it that.
Exactly. He has that play in his back pocket.
Exactly. Yeah. So he can take Ukraine and maybe get a bit of blowback, but after a while it'll subside, because no one wants to really test him like that, But we'll see. We'll see what happens, bro. Like,
yeah, man, I just think it's a lot of like theater going on right now, especially locally, with the type of movements we're trying to do to like show that we're not with Russia. And going back to the LCBO thing, that was the last straw for me. I was like, you guys ain't serious, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're going for the LCBO, like, to pull out drinks off the shelves? Really?
It reminds me of like when 9/11 happened and people were just like beating up, Pakistani people or Indian people, and for no reason. And people were just like, having a hard time because of the events that was happening that had nothing to do with them at all.
People getting jumped.
It's
still that still had a residue till this day, where if a guy in a hijab, if a woman in a hijab, or a guy wearing like the traditional
Muslim garb,
they're getting looked at different in a plane. The guy stands up to go to the bathroom, everybody has their like butt clenched. Because they're thinking, wow, like, what?
Picturing everybody's butt clenching up as he gets up is hilarious.
Oh, like, my God. People are just, you can see the tension on their shoulders. Oh, shit. What's he going to the bathroom to do?
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's just like, and the thing is, the media doesn't help because it perpetuates the same image in movies and shows and everything like that. So we never let go of it. Now Muslim guys are known as bombers.
Yeah. The media.
It's so sad, bro.
Yeah, it is sad. We're working towards wrapping up, man. But how do you see this affecting business here in Canada and Toronto?
Honestly, dude, I don't even know. I don't know. I just, I don't know, man.
Gas is gonna shoot up.
That's true. Because gas, like, it's now $100 a barrel now.
It's just gonna go up.
Jeez,
I have no idea.
You have a whip. Kristen drives, right?
Yeah,
so that's like how much dollars per liter? Like $2.
Probably. It's gonna get high.
$2.50 now.
It's gonna get high.
Like, what do you even do? Like, that's like $100 a week on gas.
Yeah. I think that's gonna be like very affected. I wonder what else Russia really provides that's gonna be, it's gonna have an impact on the country. We'll see. Honestly, this might drive us more towards electric vehicles. This might like speed up the production of electric vehicles, because the government says, gas is slowing down, the price is going up, let's ramp up the efforts and
and it goes into their plans of like measuring your carbon footprint too, man. Like, if we can eliminate this, if we're using Russia as like a place to like talk about climate change and how cars affect the climate, this is a way to introduce. And this goes back to the whole plan of like the whole Great Reset. The carbon footprint is going to be part of like what you do. So if you can drive today because you've already used some of your carbon footprint mileage or something like that, or you can't be flying today because you've already used up everything.
Oh, that sounds horrible,
bro. This is what's happening, man.
Where
go listen to this podcast with Majid Nawaz. He was on Joe Rogan, and he's talking about what they're rolling out, especially with climate change. It's gonna affect everything that you do. So if you've traveled, they're gonna put a cap to how much you can travel, how much you can drive, and etc. It's really interesting stuff. I mean, to get on it right now, like I think we're close to wrapping up, but it's interesting how they're really trying to restrict everything you do and reward you and punish you for doing certain things. And I think this is a great entry point into talking to me. Like now, you're gonna realize, bro, the conversation is gonna go from away from the coronavirus, COVID-19,
and more towards the
war, and then after the war, climate change is what's up next.
You think so?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Climate change is what's coming up. Climate is going to be the one that's going to be controlling the conversation from 2023 to 2024. And what's this? That Alex Jones called the war happening. I don't know if you've seen that clip. He, like Alex Jones, right? Like that.
Of course, yeah.
I was not asking if you know, but I actually wanted to make sure I'm getting the name right, Alex Jones. And
okay.
I was hoping you correct. I was like, bro, are you sure Alex Jones or this? I think
no,
I'm
it's
okay.
Alex Jones. Yeah,
I got it right. He called the war. He made some ridiculous predictions last year. He's like, I predict by February 2022, there's going to be a war happening. I just see this Russia shit going like this. And I'm telling you, dude, like there's a war happening right now. There's a war coming up. All right. Don't call me crazy.
Let's see if it won't be on YouTube because Alex Jones isn't on YouTube.
He got booted?
Yeah, they booted him off YouTube.
For what? Like they're censoring him? Like it was like, man. Yeah, so you got Alex Whitfield searched up. Are you trying to see how you look on?
Of course.
Do you have alerts?
No, I don't have Google Alerts.
You should get Google Alerts for Hustle over everything.
Probably. So yeah, that press piece should come out soon.
Yeah, we start gonna get press. Shout out to XO Rennie, man. She's been going hard on the press.
Yeah, she's been going
full court press, man. Not even half court.
Shout out XO Rennie.
XO Rennie.
Awesome.
With a brand deal with Skip Dishes, man.
Facts. All right, yeah. Let's work towards wrapping up.
I thought you were gonna play the clip. Are you gonna play it on
I can't find it. I was looking for it.
Right.
I couldn't find it. Spotify removed Alex Jones' show that were recently uploaded to the service. Of course they do. Yeah, I can't find it.
Guys, I hope this Wildcard episode had been wild for you. We went crazy for this. Right, Al? Were you going wild for this?
Dog. No. Not at all.
I'm such a dork, bro.
I appreciate your darkness, my guy.
We're wild. We're going wild. We're crazy.
All right, work towards wrapping up, man. If you haven't already, make sure you go check out flashbox.co if you're selling in Toronto.
And guys, I just got a brand new iPhone, man. Ow. On other news, man. Guys, you don't know how big this is for me. Every time I was recording something, I get the message, not enough storage space. Imagine you're having a vibe, you're trying to capture a moment, and then you're recording, you record 3 seconds in, and boom, you're met with that notification. Yo, you don't use iPhone, but you don't even know my problems.
But storage space is a regular thing. It happens on every phone.
Happens on every phone, but I got a brand new iPhone 13. I had an iPhone 7. I had that since 2017. No scratches, no nothing. 32 GB, and I made the upgrade, bro. Like, life is so blessed. Like, I'm just like I downloaded all my apps again. Now I can use Uber without offloading it and then downloading it again. I go back on Reddit now. I can get my Facebook app back. I can get TikTok back on my phone now, bro.
Amazing. I'm happy for you.
You don't know. You're just looking at me like, bro, it's just a phone, man. I'm like, bro, it's, you know, my struggles, man.
I know your struggles.
Bro, like, look at this, man. Like, just look at the screen on that. I can even just look at it and just like lock in.
This is very compelling content right now.
Like I walk in, man, I'm just so happy. I can't get over this phone, man. I know I'm gonna get over it in 2 months. It's gonna be like, it's just a phone, but it still has like that new car smell.
Honestly, I'm thinking about getting a new phone too.
Bro, get on the iPhone, bro, because sometimes you post some pics and like, I'm like, bro, you posted this on Android. I think Dan said that to you, right?
Yeah. So I'm thinking about getting an iPhone. That might be my next move.
Come on, join the club, bro. You're already on the MacBook Pro.
So, yeah, man. With that being said, that wraps up the podcast. Hustle what you can't control. So control your grind. I control your life. I'm Alex.
And I'm Owen Osinde.
It's a show, y'all. Peace.